Episode 105, Tiptoeing. After Jake Robinson sent out the post, Miranda Young got a call, which she answered in Russian. Serena was quite impressed by the assistant's language skills. Considering what had just happened, Miranda was indeed a capable subordinate. No wonder she had stayed around Jake for 8 years in Serena's previous lifetime. Even after Miranda got married and gave birth, Jake did not want to let her go, and paid a lot for her to stay. After taking the call, Miranda's look was a bit heavy as she called. "Mr. Robinson?"
"I heard you. Something happened in Moscow?"
"Yes, Mr. Vladimir Petrov is quite sick. He does not have a lot of time and he would like to see you." Mr. Petrov? Serena knew that name. When Jake had studied abroad, Mr. Vladimir Petrov was his professor. Because Mr. Petrov lost his son, he treated his favorite student Jake Robinson like a son. Occasionally, when Jake had additional time, he would go to Russia and visit the old man. Serena remembered that in her previous lifetime, Mr. Petrov had passed away around this period of time. Jake was silent for a moment and looked at Serena. "You should go," Serena said before he did. "We don't know how long he could afford to wait, so you should go as soon as possible." Jake nodded and stood up, planting a kiss on Serena's forehead.
"I'll come back as soon as possible."
"Mr. Robinson, do you need me to come with you?" Miranda asked.
"It's not necessary. Stay in Austin and manage the company's business for me. If there's something you cannot decide, call me."
"Got it."
"Also, follow up on the press conference."
"Will do."
"Thanks so much."
Miranda shuddered, hearing the rare gratitude from her boss. She stuttered. "No worries." Serena held back her smile and said, "I'll go pack for you."
"We can pack together."
Miranda and the hunter felt a bit awkward. The hunter said, "I'll go." Miranda nodded and said, "I will drive Mr. Robinson to the airport in a bit." When they were upstairs, Serena took out the suitcase and packed as she said, "Remember to eat on time. It might be a bit cold over there. I'll put in some jackets for you. Remember to change." Before she finished, Serena realized that the guy next to her had put his arms around her. Serena paused and her face burned.
"What else?"
Jake whispered in a deep voice. As he said that, he had turned Serena around. His features were so soft that Serena could not stop running her imagination wild. Blushing, Serena hugged him back, remembering that she would not be able to see him in days. Looking up, she said, "Come back as soon as possible." Jake had a smile in his eyes as he pecked on her lips.
"Your wish is my command, sweetheart."
Hearing his flirtatious answer, Serena blushed even more, pushed Jake away, and started to pack. Miranda was very efficient. She had booked the air ticket to Moscow in no time. The flight would leave in 2 hours. Miranda waited for a while after she drove the car over, when she saw Serena and Jake coming down. However, at the door, Jake suddenly halted, put his luggage down, and kissed Serena against the door. Miranda's face burned as she whimpered inwardly. So unfair to the single people. After a long while, Jake let Serena go unwillingly.
"Lock the door and the windows. Be safe at home."
"Okay."
"Tomorrow, Nanny Harper will come over. Ask her to move your stuff to our room."
"Okay."
"Stay at home and wait for me to come back."
"Okay."
"I'm leaving now."
"Okay." Jake rubbed Serena's hair lovingly before he lifted his luggage and walked to Miranda's car. Watching him go, Serena felt sweet and bitter at the same time. Going back to the house, She took the laptop and went back to her room, seeing 2 unanswered calls from Henry Miller and one from Travis Green. She immediately called Henry Miller back, and he didn't answer. Then she called Travis Green, and he quickly picked up.
Hello, Serena?
Uncle Travis.
You have a minute? I need to talk about something.
Sure.
Are you free on the 12th? How about you come with me to my concert at the Capitol?
The Capitol?
Yes. We will leave Friday afternoon and come back Sunday afternoon, which is the 14th.
Travis Green said, and as if he was afraid that she would say no, he quickly added,
If you don't have time, that's fine as well.
I'd be happy to. Serena cut in. Jake is not home anyway, so it's quite boring to stay home alone.
Really?
Travis sounded surprised. I have no class Friday afternoon. What time do we meet?
3 p.m. I will book the flight for you.
Fantastic.
See you then.
After she hung up, Serena curled her lips. It could be her illusion, but she felt Uncle Travis was tiptoeing around her. Was he also suspecting that she could actually be his biological daughter? Lying on the bed, Serena stared at the ceiling blankly. Father. Such a distant word. When Serena went to the university on the next day, many people were looking at her differently. Serena ignored the looks cast at her, checked her cell phone, and found the so-called scandals were already forgotten. On the other hand, the topic, #Mrs. Robinson press conference, was the hottest. A girl deliberately sat next to Serena, glanced at her phone, and touched a ball pen on Serena's desk. The pen fell on the floor, and the girl quickly bent over to pick it up, apologizing. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Serena turned her head, smiled at the girl and said, It's okay. The girl faked surprise and exclaimed, You're Serena Clark Robinson? Yes. Oh my God, I have the honor to see the legendary Mrs. Robinson. I heard that you were going to have a press conference in a few days. I wish you success. That is so fake, said a shrill voice full of contempt. If you want to go, just say it. That was totally unnecessary. The girl was embarrassed, looking at Serena. She thought that Serena would be as cold as a couple of days ago, but Serena simply smiled and said, If you're free at that time, please come join us. Hearing that, a lot of girls in the class lit up and approached Serena. Serena took out a stack of invitations from her back and said, I was not prepared a couple of days ago, so I did not invite you. Here are the invitations, and you can bring your friends. The invitations were like magnets among the girls and were gone in just a minute. With a smile, Serena had a knowing look on her face. Girls were the creatures of gossip. In this bloodless war, only reputation was at stake. Since Lila Cox wanted to destroy Serena's reputation, Serena had to fight back. An eye for an eye.